The afternoon sun filtered through the oak trees in Daniel's backyard, casting dancing shadows across the worn picnic table. He stood at the grill, carefully tending to burgers that sizzled and popped, sending up ribbons of smoke into the warm June air. His daughter, Emma, just turned 9, was arranging wildflowers she'd picked into mason jars, her braids swinging as she worked. Daniel had learned to cook these burgers just right. Not too fast, not too slow. Life had taught him patience over the past 3 years. Ever since Sarah had passed, he'd learned a lot of things. Actually, how to braid hair, how to sew buttons, how to make a home feel warm with just the two of them. "Dad, Mrs. Patterson is bringing someone," Emma called out, looking up from her flowers. "A friend from the city." Daniel nodded, flipping a burger. Their neighbor Helen Patterson had been kind to them, always checking in, always remembering Emma's favorite cookies. When she'd asked if she could bring a guest to their little neighborhood gathering, he'd said yes, without hesitation. That's what you did when someone had been good to you. The guests started arriving in that easy, unhurried way of summer afternoons. The Johnsons from 2 doors down. Old Mr. Chun with his famous potato salad. Then Helen appeared, walking beside a woman Daniel didn't recognize. She was about his age. He guessed, maybe late 40s. Brown hair that fell in soft waves to her shoulders, wearing simple jeans and a beige shirt. There was something graceful about the way she moved, but also something careful, as if she was used to being watched and had learned to make herself smaller. "Daniel, this is Rebecca," Helen said. "She's staying with me for a few weeks, getting away from the city." Rebecca extended her hand. Her grip was firm, but her smile was tentative. "Thank you for having me. Helen talks about your cookouts all the time." "Well, I hope the burgers live up to the reputation," Daniel said, wiping his hands on his apron. "Can I get you something to drink? We've got lemonade, iced tea, and Emma insists we have juice boxers." "Lemonade sounds perfect." Emma appeared at Rebecca's side, holding up one of her mason jar arrangements. "I made this one. Do you like wildflowers?" Rebecca knelt down, studying the flowers with genuine interest. "I do. Very much. You know, I had a garden once, when I was younger. Before life got complicated." "What happened to it?" Emma asked. "I got busy. Too busy, I suppose. Sometimes we forget the simple things that make us happy." Daniel watched this exchange as he poured the lemonade. There was a sadness in Rebecca's eyes, but also a kindness that reminded him of his late wife. Emma seemed to sense it too, the way children sometimes do. She took Rebecca's hand and led her to see the vegetable patch they'd planted. The afternoon unfolded in that comfortable rhythm of good company and warm weather. Daniel moved between the grill and his guests, making sure everyone had what they needed. He noticed Rebecca talking quietly with Mr. Chun about his tomato plants, laughing at something the Johnsons' teenage son said, and helping Emma set out the condiments. She fit in, somehow. Not trying too hard, just being present. When the burgers were ready, everyone gathered around. Daniel had learned to cook them the way Sarah used to. A little seasoning, a lot of care. Cooked until they were just right. As he handed Rebecca her plate, she took a bite and closed her eyes. "This is wonderful," she said softly. "It tastes like home should taste." After the meal, as the evening began to cool, Emma convinced some of the neighbors' kids to play. In the sprinkler, the adults settled into lawn chairs, watching the children run and shriek with laughter. Daniel found himself sitting next to Rebecca. "Helen tells me you work in the city," he said. "Must be quite different from this." Rebecca was quiet for a moment. "Yes, very different. When the city, I'm someone else. Someone I'm not. Sure, I don't like very much anymore." "We all have our struggles," Daniel said gently. "I'm a high school English teacher. Not exactly exciting, but it's honest work." "Honest work," Rebecca repeated. "That's more valuable than you might think." She paused, watching Emma dance through the water. "Your daughter is lovely. You're doing a beautiful job with her. I'm doing my best. Some days that feels like enough. Other days, ... double quotes." He trailed off, then smiled. "But we get through. We have good neighbors, good people around us. That matters," Rebecca said. "More than money, more than success. I'm learning that now, maybe too late." Over the next 2 weeks, Rebecca became a regular fixture at Daniel's house. She'd show up in the mornings to help Emma with her summer reading. She'd stay for dinner, insisting on doing the dishes. She taught Emma some old songs her grandmother had taught her. She helped Daniel fix the fence that had been sagging for months. One evening, after Emma had gone to bed, Daniel and Rebecca sat on the porch steps, listening to the cicadas. "I need to tell you something," Rebecca said quietly. "I haven't been completely honest about who I am." Daniel waited, not worried, just listening. "In the city, I run a company. A large company. I have money, more than I could ever spend, but I lost myself somewhere along the way. After my divorce, After years of 12-hour days and endless meetings, I realized I couldn't remember the last time I felt. She looked at him. Helen is my oldest friend. She invited me here to remember who I used to be. And watching you with Emma, seeing how you live with such intention and care, I realized what I've been missing. Daniel considered this. Money doesn't make you good or bad. It's what you do with your life. How you treat people. You've been kind to Emma. You've been a good friend these weeks. That's who you are. Rebecca's eyes welled up. I want to help. Your school, Emma's education, whatever you need. We're doing fine, Daniel said gently. But if you want to help, help because it makes you happy, not because you feel obligated. Emma and I, we've learned that the best things in life can't be bought. They're given freely. On Rebecca's last evening, she helped Daniel cook one more backyard meal. This time, she stood beside him at the grill, learning his patient method in Maplay nearby, occasionally running over to taste tests. I'm going back to the city tomorrow, Rebecca said. But I'm not going back to the same life. I'm going to change things, spend time on what matters, maybe even plant that garden again. That sounds like a good plan, Daniel said. She turned to him. Would it be all right if I visited sometimes? If Emma and I wrote letters, we'd like that very much. As the sun set that evening, casting long golden shadows across the yard, Daniel watched Rebecca and Emma looking at a caterpillar they'd found on a leaf. Two people, from such different worlds, connected by something simple and true. Life had taught Daniel that kindness didn't need a grand stage. It happened in quiet moments, in shared meals, in the willingness to see each other as we truly are. And sometimes, if you were lucky, it taught that lesson to someone who needed it most. The burgers sizzled on the grill, and Daniel smiled. Some recipes, he'd learned, weren't just about food. They were about taking your time, paying attention, and serving others with care. That was something worth sharing, whether you had everything or nothing at all.